Welcome back to Tune to Life. And today we're going to be talking about something that is so interesting. And even doing this research myself, looking at it, I've learned quite a bit for myself, even though I knew other things before, but it made me think about things differently. And that topic is interracial dating and marriage, right? And we're going to be looking at things historically and also present day and what people should consider and think about. First off, before we get into it, is that, look, my position is this. You know, if somebody is dating outside their race or their culture and they're happy, they're happy. Some people feel that it's not for them. That's fine too.
That's right.
I don't see why there should be a prescription for one or the other.
That's right, yeah.
That's where I stand. So if you want to know, that's where I stand. And there are lots of reasons for that. And I'm going to get into the reasons for that. And me doing the research now, looking at this, makes me more forthright in my position.
And yeah, no, I agree with that. Actually, definitely reflective and
through historical research.
Yeah.
Now let's get straight to it. We're going back through the antiquities of time. All right. First things first. This is really, really important. That race wasn't an issue.
That's right.
Never, ever, ever an issue going back hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. Never an issue. Never discussed, never recorded. People didn't consider it. People weren't aware of the term race.
Wow.
Now, that is something that's only come about in the 15th, 15th, 16th centuries, 17th centuries, when they started to look at, there's a pseudoscience.
Yeah.
European origin.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Looking at how people look, phenotypes, how people look, behaved, and so on, and people categorizing people into races.
And why that? Why did they do that?
And then, because it was a move towards looking at potential colonialism and justifying slavery.
Okay, right.
So then, it's at that point, you start to denigrate people.
Yeah.
Vilify certain other people.
Makes sense.
Which will condone, and then saying these people are like animals or this or savages.
Yeah.
You find those terms being used
Yeah.
to demonstrate, support an ideology so they can go off and then do the type of heinous, evil things that they did with, say, colonization, whatever it is. Because if you make one out to be a superior. So, just on that note, think about this, right? I'm going to go into some history with this. That's what happened at that time.
Yeah.
So, think about this. They gave labels to people.
Yeah.
And just think about for black people, because we're being black.
Black people, that's right.
Yeah. We were given or had some label as black.
Wow.
Right? But then that label, over time, was accepted by our people. Wow. We accept that label. We didn't create that label.
Wow.
We accepted that label. And then with that, the negative connotations that come and the negative information and that comes with that.
Black, yes, that's right.
We've accepted it. Right? That's not ours.
That's not ours. And we hold on to that now, don't we? Like it's a label. It's like
so,
I'm black.
You have to understand why, for example, like Somalis will say, we're not black. You then have to really dig deep to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And when you do that, then you get a light bulb moment. Oh, right. And it's because they may not have, or people that have said it, explained it properly.
Okay.
But you have to understand it, because if you go back hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, the term black didn't exist.
Wow.
To denote a race of people. Yeah?
That's crazy, you know. I mean, what do you I'm black, I'm proud, and you're just like, wow.
That's but that's a politicized.
No,
I know
that. Yeah.
But you know, we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But for interracial dating, that's always happened.
Wow.
Always happened. Always. And it happened sometimes, what they would describe as cultural unifications. You may have a king somewhere will marry a princess somewhere,
Right.
and that's to create peace
Okay.
between two
Do
neighboring
yeah,
states.
yeah.
But they were viewed as cultural differences,
That's right.
cultural alliances,
Okay, right.
rather than race. You
Right,
see,
that's right. Yeah. So those are the things
these
that
are those people of that custom
I see.
marrying into some
That's
custom
interesting.
to unite those two, so there's no war
Wars.
and there's peace because
Yeah.
they're related.
That's right.
You see,
Okay.
so they're on that level.
Yeah.
But also, people would move. People would think, well, okay, you might have a few hundred people, or
Yeah.
1,000 people, or thousands of people moving from one part of a country
yeah.
to another country. Remember, there were no borders,
That's right. It's just good point, actually. You know, that's right.
no border, no passports.
It's like a whole different world, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would just
yeah.
move and settle.
That's right.
And those people would settle and stay in the communities. And sometimes they would immerse themselves in that culture, bring their ways,
Traditions and
introduce
stuff.
that to another way, and people would share their
Wow.
customs.
So it'd be like a
beliefs.
fusion of
Yeah,
cultures. Then. Okay.
and then they would settle.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but there's no records of saying, oh, that's black and that's white,
right.
or that's
Okay,
yellow,
yeah.
or this. There's none of that. People just did that and shared customs. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
And you have that all over the world. It's recorded everywhere, every single place. So if you look at it just in terms of demonstrable differences,
Yeah.
like say black or say, people from Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
you can see that happening everywhere. People moving and traveling, people who were merchants coming through. For example, things that you may be not aware of.
Yeah.
You're Black Normans.
Black Normans?
Black Normans, yeah.
Okay.
So you had, in 1066, what you learn in school is that the Normans invaded the UK, wherever it is. Hello, you are Black Normans. So you had Black Norman dignitaries marrying white ladies as dignitaries.
That's crazy. That's something you don't hear in your history.
Something,
you don't get in your history books, do you?
Yeah.
It's madness.
Right? You also have the Alessandro de Medici, Medici, who was black. He was a Duke of Florence.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
This is like buried
and
treasure.
It goes on, and it goes on, it goes on, it goes on. So what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to give you guys a history lesson about everything. What I'm saying is that there is a black presence in Europe forever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Ethiopians came and invaded Spain or parts of the Iberian Peninsula 700 years prior to the Moors getting there.
Wow.
Right? You have Black Nordics. Yeah. Black Spaniards.
They're just there everywhere, aren't they?
Rome was multicultural.
Yeah.
Yeah. With black people there. You had, how many black popes did you have? We know of. I know at least 4.
Wow.
Never talked about, never shown. Never talked about, never shown. I don't think I've got it in the book here. You have Pope Saint Militades in the 9th century.
Wow.
You have, that's still the same Pope. You have Pope Gelasius. Yeah.
All of these things that are just not known.
Yeah. There are a number. Hold on, let me just. Sorry for actually. Out before. Yeah, and then you have Pope Victor I. Right. So there are a number of popes, and we know Septimus Servius, who invaded the UK.
Yes. Yeah.
A Roman Caesar.
He rings a bell, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, people need to understand is that during that era, they didn't see race.
Yeah.
They just saw people as they were, their merit, how good they are, how bad they are.
Yeah.
People were just rated on their presentation, who they are as people, right? And people would marry outside their race, whatever. It wasn't an issue,
Issue.
is the point I'm making, right? So, given the historical, you have, look, you have Septimus Servus, a Roman emperor born in Leptis Magna, North African background. He interconnected the Mediterranean world. He married within the Roman elite. He was a black guy, no joke about it. And yeah, and there is historical evidence the presence of Africans in southern Europe, especially in Portugal, Spain, and Italy. Now you might think to yourself, well, oh, that's during slavery. No, well before slavery. Well before, hundreds of years before slavery, because people traveled and moved and settled and were doing trading and merchants and all sorts of things were going on. So there's a much more connection.
Yeah.
All right. And it was more, when there were issues, more to do with whether you describe yourself as being Christian or Muslim, whatever it is.
Okay.
There were those differences.
So religious kind of stuff.
Yeah, religious.
Okay.
You know, were a bit of an issue. So, you know, Africans were present in Europe long before the Atlantic slave trade. Yeah, long before
that.
Long before. So those are people who say, oh, yes, only because. No. And the point I'm making is this has been happening forever.
Ever a beginning of time, yeah.
Forever. All over the world. All over the world.
So what?
And people make such a big issue about it now. And the reason why,
I was gonna say, yeah,
because of colonialism.
Yeah. Okay.
Slavery.
Yeah.
And this pseudoscience of creating racial differences.
Was there a threat from us then as black people?
Well, I think it was more to do with the fact, this is my
idea.
It's more to do with the fact that when the Moors came into Europe or came into the Iberian Peninsula and then spread out, whatever, when they were ousted, there was propaganda put out.
Okay.
Because of all different reasons, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to touch on it slightly. Propaganda was put out to say, how bad they were, how evil they were, doing negative things. They worked with the devil and all that sort of stuff.
Okay, right.
And that was put out by religious
bodies. Right, I see.
And so there was a secret meeting held between certain dignitaries and ex-leaders and this at the time to put together a huge army to oust the Moors.
Wow.
In the 1400s.
Okay.
14th century. And so they did manage to do that. And a few years later, then you had the idea of races and this
okay.
So and that was to justify saying, oh, these people are savages.
Yes,
okay,
right,
human,
I see.
Blah, blah. Although blacks were already living in Europe, doing stuff, and there were dignitaries, there were this, there were that, whatever it is. Yeah?
Wow.
Remember, they weren't just, to make people understand, there were blacks in Europe not just sitting there just
not
doing agricultural work.
There were high levels.
There were
high
people
levels
as well
in
doing
power.
all sorts of things.
Okay.
From agricultural work to traders to merchants, shop owners, keepers, if you want to call it that. To dignitaries.
Positions of power and stuff like that.
Positions of power, absolutely. Positions of power. Through all spheres of society, they were interwoven. Remember, the Moors were around for nearly 800 years. 800 years.
800 years that we don't know of.
Right? And intermarrying and all sorts of whatever. Having children, this and that and whatever. So that's what I'm saying. So when slavery came about, they had to go some way to change people's perception. They really had to go all out. Wow. It was a huge combined,
it's like a campaign, isn't it?
Highly organized campaign effort to malign black people.
Which lives with us today.
Lives us today.
That's just crazy. That's how powerful it is, though, isn't it?
Yes, how powerful it is. Yeah. So, with that, they had to make the idea of marrying or settle with a black person like ungodly, this, that, all the rest of it, and now we have a situation, obviously, that we are at one point persona non grata,
Oh, yeah.
not to be touched. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, with slavery and this happening and that happening, whatever, we getting past that, it still happens. It still happens. Interracial,
Oh, definitely.
it
Yeah,
still
yeah,
happens,
just
even
the
during slavery.
slavery. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, it still happens. You'll never stop it. You'll never stop it. You see, that's the thing. And there are some people who are not so pro,
Yeah,
right?
that's yeah.
But you'll never stop it because it's been happening for far
A long
longer,
time, yeah.
far longer. But I think what the key is here is to understand. Now it's become even the term black. Let's look at that because we're black people. We can't talk for everyone
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
That's for black people. Being black is a political statement. The name, the term black is a political
It's a statement.
statement
I know. They're kind
all
of
day, every day.
it's been taken, hasn't it? Really, I
Yeah.
suppose.
And the term white is a
It's a
political
political statement. That's
statement
true.
as well.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Because we're not black
Black.
as in the color black.
That's right.
They're not white
Right.
as in the color white. It's a politicalized statement created
Yeah.
in this part of the world,
Yeah.
in Europe, in Western civilization, right? To categorize and to say this one dominates, that
This
one
one.
is
It's inferior.
inferior.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
And it would say, and maybe people should denounce those labels.
That's powerful.
Yeah, denounce those labels. Say, well, look, you know what? I'm not
not
going
gonna
to
accept
label.
that,
You
bro.
keep your label. You have your label. I don't want it. That would be interesting.
That would be very powerful. I mean, I
That
think.
would be interesting.
Yeah. You know what? I just think it's such a norm in terms of as I said, I see myself as black, and so I'm like, you take it, but you don't.
Because it's a label, and where that label comes from, that label was given to you by
That's right.
the people that actually want to malign
Malign
you.
you. That's right. Categorize you,
And
and
so they give you a label as being black. You accept that
the
label, and then they throw the negative connotations with the label as well. You see?
I think the level of manipulation and the level of thought to come to where we are today is just.
Well, because you've got to think about it. There's been a long time to fine tune it, hasn't it? It's been hundreds of years to fine tune that. See? Well, if you throw that out, if you say I don't want it,
That's right.
some people still think about it, but over the years it'll disappear.
Just dilute, don't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there's all sorts of potential reasons as to why they needed these segregate people into categories. But we won't go into that because we're just talking about interracial dating and marriage. And reality is this. Sometimes you look back, and it's for some people it's taboo. And when it's taboo, you tell them not to do something. What are they going to do? They're going to go and do it. Yeah. So there's always been an interest from people all over the world, whether white, Chinese, and think, oh, what's the black guy like, or whatever it is, or what's this one like, whatever. And then the beginning elements of it is always a curiosity.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course.
It's a curiosity. And then a curiosity turns into the interest and curiosity turns into they find that the person is a person.
That's right.
Has a character,
and those
personality,
things
and so on. And then that person will fall in love with a person. But now, I think the difficulties here is this. Because the vilification of black people and how the imagery that goes with it, negative context that goes with it, I think there is something that is really important for, I think just like it's black and white, for example, if a white woman or white man wants to involve himself with a person of color, he or she has to understand the day-to-day issues or problems that person may encounter. Now, there's a caveat with this. Trust me. Now, some black or Asian or whatever it is won't even know, won't even be aware
Yeah,
of their own
but
ethnicity.
that's right. Yeah, it's very true.
They're just completely lost.
Yeah.
They don't see the microaggressions. They
That's right.
don't see the
That's right.
covert racism. They don't see it at all. They don't know what it
That's
is.
right. Yeah.
So therefore, it's quite easy for a white person involved with that person because they don't see it and know it anyway.
That's it. That's it. So they're not
And
going to
they will
address it.
go the status quo.
That's right.
So if there's something that's, for example, saying, yeah, the majority of muggings are done by black people, the majority of this, something like that, they'll tend to agree.
That's right. Yeah.
They'll tend to agree with it. So for those people, we're not speaking to you.
No, they're definitely not. Yeah, it makes no sense.
Makes no
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But there again, there is an assumption, even in the black community, that if a black male or female dates somebody outside their race, that they're somehow lost and have no awareness of themselves.
That's right. Yeah, very true.
And that's not true.
That's definitely not true. Yeah, yeah.
That's not true. There's also the idea,
or
the concept that or the idea that they are somehow looking to get somebody as a trophy.
Yes.
Maybe for some people, maybe that's true.
Yeah.
But I know for the most people that I've spoken to, that's not the case.
Yeah. And I think that's something that derives more from the past in terms of how white people were seen as this kind of glorified.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? More
exactly.
into the past stuff, isn't it? Really, in a sense.
Yeah. And I think that people will justify that, and maybe black people may justify that in terms of why other black people do it, and that's not necessarily the case. Yeah, that's not necessarily the case. But I think going on to the point I really want to hammer home is the fact that if somebody who is white dates somebody who is black, and that black person is aware of who they are and is broad-minded and not just stuck in a tunnel vision of how they see themselves in the world, they're contextually, they're broader thinking, and they date a white person, I think it's incumbent on that white person or that person to understand the microaggressions that can exist, to understand the racism that exists, the issues that come with the label of being black.
Yeah.
So that they can understand the world their partner lives in.
That's right.
Because the perceptual reality is different between the black guy, just taking like that for example, the black guy and that white woman.
That's right.
Their worlds are different.
Yeah, world apart.
And she has to understand the world that he's perceiving.
Yeah.
She has to understand it. If she doesn't, then she doesn't know the man she's with.
Yeah.
She doesn't know him.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Doesn't know him at all. She can't even begin to know him.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Because what happens, the statement is, oftentimes by white men, I don't see him as being black or white.
That's right.
And I understand that statement. Because that statement will be wonderful if you go back 500 years, 600 years, 800 years, 1,000 years. If you go back several hundred years, that statement will be poignant and it would be relevant. It would make total sense. But we're not back then, we're now.
That's right, that's right.
So that statement is irrelevant in the current political arena.
Yeah.
The current environment. Irrelevant. Because you have to understand that.
That's right.
Because that's the way the world is viewing him.
That's right.
All the negative imagery and this and that. His world is going to be different. What experiences? So, for example, the reason why it's important for you to know, because as a black male, as a black man, when you work in certain environments, particularly when you are definitely a minority in that environment, in work, every black person will accommodate the environment
that they're in. That's right, without a doubt.
Right?
110%.
They'll tone down.
That's right. That's right.
They will supplicate themselves to the situation.
Yeah.
They will behave in a particular way that makes people feel comfortable with
that's
them
right.
being there. And this is all an unconscious
that's right.
action.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, that unconscious reaction will demonstrate itself in a relationship because he may see something that's really bad in terms of
That's,
racial
yeah.
experience out there. But may not want to raise that issue with his partner to talk about it
That's it.
because he may not want to make her feel uncomfortable.
Comfortable. That's right. That's right.
She may not be able to talk about it either, or steer away from it, say clear of it, because she doesn't know how to deal with it or what to say.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But then that leads to a massive gap
Gap.
in their relationship about how he sees the world and his frustrations.
Yes, that's right.
So he can't say to her, listen,
this is
wow, this is terrible, whatever it is.
what's been going on.
You know, and then she won't say, or sometimes she's not even interested.
That's right.
In that, because it does not affect her in her daily life. And if she doesn't see his blackness,
right,
then therefore it's like, oh well, yeah, that happened to that person over there. There's not nothing to do with you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
and it has everything to do with
you. That's right.
And that's the problem. So you can see why some people will say that's why you shouldn't get involved in what's outside
the relationship. Yeah.
But my point is, it's going to happen. Whether you think it shouldn't happen or not, it's going to happen because it has always happened. And I think to cop out and say, just don't do it, is an easy thing to say.
Yeah.
Because it's happening.
Yeah.
And it will always happen. So therefore, I think advice should be given to people who do that. Yeah. And advice simply is that I believe that living in, for example, in the UK, someone growing up here, maybe even born here as well, you understand the culture.
That's right. That's right.
You're in the culture. That's you understand it.
Yeah.
No need for you to go out your way to get. You understand it. You're living it. But as a white individual, male or female, you need to understand their experience of the world, their perception of the world. And actively approach your partner and say, you're like, I don't know, it could be something relating to current system, like, reform maybe coming in, and how do you feel about that? I don't think that's going to be good.
Good, that's right.
And talk to them about it. But how many?
That's right. I think
people
very few
who are dating a person of color have talked to their partner. How many white women or white men said, "Well, listen,
I don't think it exists." Then I'm not saying no, it does exist, but minimal.
Yeah, we'll say, you know what, this is really bad, and in case this happens, let's have a contingency about what we're going to do, how we're going to deal with this.
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
None, probably. Yeah. Very few. Very few. Because they don't see it as something that affects their partner because they don't see and understand their blackness.
But that's right. That's right. And you know what? I mean, one thing I wanted to kind of state actually for them, because I think it's really important that people perhaps don't understand that as, say, black men, black people, one of the things that we find ourselves doing is performing a role. So we're always kind of on this performative level. So we're like actors, and we're assigned this role, and all the time we're assigned this role, and we're unable to.
We're not really assigned a role.
Playing a role. Sorry, apologies. Playing a role. But what it is that actually we find ourselves playing this role so much that we almost lose ourselves in terms of who we really are.
No, we're masking ourselves all the time. We dumb it down a bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of us dumb it down so much so that we never get out of character.
Yeah, without.
We are in our own environment with our own people. Whatever it is. We just play it on continually.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is another discussion. But yes, I think it's very poignant. Yeah. But going back to the situation, I think it's important for, if you want the best out of a relationship, if you want the best version of, if it's a woman, your man, you're a black man, you want the best version of him, you want to know him, you want to understand him.
That's right.
And
that's
want to
important.
Be there and get the best version of him. Then if you are listening to this, try and talk to him about some black issues. Try and reach out to him. Try and understand where he's coming from.
That's right.
Try to, maybe, I don't know, whatever it might be. Try and learn how to cook his food. Try to learn how to do this or do that. Try and engage yourself more in his culture. Trust me, you will see another side of him you've never seen. You will see another side to him that you have never seen. It's like you find another man within the man.
Well, listen, I've got a great story.
And if you do that as a white man with a black woman, you'll see another woman within the woman.
That's right, yeah. Very much so.
Very, very
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
And I think that those things will help,
Mm.
because I'm not of the position, the idea of saying it can't work, because if you go back several hundred years, it worked
Yeah,
because there was no
the issue
issues.
with the
The
race,
issues
yeah.
are politicized,
Created, that's right, that's right.
are created. So people have this in their mindset. It's there because of the really awful propaganda that's been put
Put it
out
out
there
there.
for hundreds of years that's been reinforced.
Yeah. You know what? I remember, and I was thinking of, and yeah, you know, this subject really was close to my heart, and I was kind of reflecting on my own journey as such. And now
Mm,
I was married to a white Irish lady, and we had children together. And I was thinking about kind of in terms of embrace of cultures. And when I
mm,
reflect on that, I mean, that was a kind of real kind of positive thing for me in terms of that experience. Now, in the tradition, I remember I was reading books about the Irish struggle, you know what I mean, in terms of
mm.
what they'd gone through. So I could understand in terms of her own plights, if that makes sense, yeah?
Yeah, so you can see the similarities,
Yeah, it's yeah,
similarities.
in terms of myself, yeah, very much so. And also we had children
And
together.
did you think that she, the most
What,
important bit, did you think that
no,
she,
no, I'm gonna come to that. Don't
yeah,
worry,
because
I'm
that's
gonna
the
go.
most
No, no, I'm
important
gonna
bit.
come to that. I'm gonna come to that. I'm gonna come to that. Don't you worry. That's I've got that one there. And
Uh,
so yeah. So
yeah.
and so the funny thing was also that so we had children. So certain things were embraced, like Caribbean foods was cooked. You know what I mean? In terms
Oh, so
of
she cooked
yeah,
and
yeah, she
Caribbean
cooked my
food.
food. Yeah,
So
yeah.
she went
I-
into it to really, yeah,
Yeah, definitely. That was,
yeah.
and you know, Afro hair, you know, certain products,
And
moisturize
for
the
the
skin.
children,
Yeah,
yeah.
for the skin. So those things were embraced. And I thought back and I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? As a black man, I thought to myself, yeah, that was kind of. I thought that that moment or that time in that relationship was. I thought, yeah, that was celebrated. However, however, years later, obviously we terminated the relationship, and years later, um, George Floyd's situation come about where there was
Yeah.
worldwide protest media. I
Mm.
mean, I think in UK there were statues that were coming down. It was all over the place. It
And
literally
you
was.
know, during that period of time,
Yeah,
not to interrupt you there, a lot of people who were in mixed
yeah.
relationships, their partners said
There
nothing.
you go. Well, that's
Nothing.
listen. That's what I want to get to.
Nothing.
That's what I want to
Never
get
even
to.
said, oh, that's really bad. Oh my
Listen,
God, it's terrible. How you feeling about that?
that's what I want to get into.
Nothing.
That is what I want to get into. And I think so. What it was is that for myself, you know, um, I got a phone call and you know, and we had this conversation, you know, from ex partner, and she was saying to me, "Oh my gosh, like, Frankie, did you experience this stuff as a black man?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I think to myself, "Oh my gosh, I've never had a discussion with you about." My race, about my experience as a black man. I never had that discussion only until after the relationship is finished,
Yeah.
which is kind of
And
quite
when she
poignant.
took interest in afterwards, because it was an afterthought now, you
Yeah,
see? And that's the point. And I think that a lot of people don't.
th-
You know, if it's a white woman, a black man, the white man does not get involved
for
with his blackness.
yeah.
She doesn't see it as an important aspect.
Well,
So when things start to go a bit
th-
funny or
that's
pear
that's
shaped,
that's,
they think it's just down to personality or character or whatever it is.
that's
They're
right.
not recognizing that there's effort needed on their
That's
part
right. That's
to
right.
understand, to bridge that gap.
That's right. That's
They
right.
have to show that you can't, most black men aren't going to force
Yes, yes. To kind of yeah, yeah.
their culture, impose their culture, impose their blackness on that person.
Person, yeah, yeah.
They want to see, most guys want to see that woman make an effort to understand
Stand.
his
It's got
culture,
to show.
who he
Yeah,
is and whatever
yeah.
it is. And that will get him an understanding about who she
She
is.
is, yeah. And I think, you know, I know what I would say is that for me, I just don't think
Mm,
that that's on people's radars as such. I don't think it's on people's radars. I don't think people, it's not even a second note. And I think if you think about it, it took this media situation that was across the world for so think, oh my gosh, wow. And as you said earlier on, some people it's not even in their mindset. But another thing I want to come on to, which I think is really important here, because I think also in
mm,
terms of myself,
yeah.
in terms of my own self awareness and me taking some kind of responsibility, because and what I mean by that is this: I think as a black man, I think when I'm kind of going into a dating relationship type of
Mm,
situation, I think that in terms of my own needs, in terms of my own cultural needs, I think that I demote those needs, and so therefore the physical needs or the kind of the needs of obviously wanting to meet somebody, I think they are kind of higher. And so therefore I lower them down. And I think, and I have to take some accountability, because I think myself, Frankie, that's what you do. You don't kind of um, fly the flag for those things. And I thought to myself, well, why do I do that? What is that about for
Maybe
me?
I think
Yeah, go on.
it comes onto the we're getting onto another
Okay,
point
okay,
now, which is
okay,
good, which is good,
okay.
and that is people will say, why don't black men then date black women?
Okay.
It comes back to that sort,
Okay.
and you know, this is all about freedom of choice, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Yes.
It's not about saying stay in your lane, don't go outside lane, because it doesn't necessarily mean that if you may not be able to find somebody who on a human level
Yeah.
that could be anybody, that could be somebody who's white, could be
Yeah.
Chinese,
Just
could be
yeah.
Asian, it could
Yeah.
be this,
Yeah.
you connect on a human level, and sometimes that supersedes and
Seeds. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
what you believe, yeah. And I think that
But
excuse me,
you.
yeah, that it's these things occur and have always occurred.
Good.
And just to say that you can only date
Yeah.
within
Just
your race
yeah.
or your culture limits some people.
Yeah.
And if you meet a black woman, if I meet a black woman, whatever, it is what it
Yeah.
is.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you don't, you don't.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that the important thing is this. This is an important thing from my perspective. We live in a world that's very divisive,
Yeah.
individualistic. It's particularly the West.
Yeah. Definitely so.
Racism is alive and
Kicking,
living.
raising its ugly head.
It is covert. Lots of microaggressions.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And although there are advancements, we haven't just stayed in one position. There have been advancements. Things have moved forward, right? Things have gotten better, yeah? But it still exists. Now, in saying that, if a white person says, well, I don't really see color, I'll just date anybody I like, that's great. But if somebody is black, or somebody's Asian,
Yeah.
or someone's Southeast Asian,
That's right,
or whatever
yeah.
it is, you as a white person need to understand
That's right.
their culture.
That's right.
You need to embed yourself in their culture to understand it, because that's informing the way your partner's thinking, what their cultural norms are, how they might behave, how they might present themselves to you.
That's right, yeah.
And if you feel that has no importance, no relevance, then you're only going to see one version of who they are.
That's right.
And that relationship is going to be lacking. And if the other person cannot state that importance, then they're letting themselves down.
That's right.
Yeah. Person of color will be letting
themselves down.
down.
That's right. And I think that's
and failing to address something that's really important
to them. That's right. Yeah.
To them.
Yeah.
And it's just that way.
Yeah.
You may think, well, hold on, that's one-sided. But I'm saying if a person of color is in the West, they've adopted some of those Western ideas and understandings.
Yeah.
So they understand that culture.
That's right. Yeah.
But there's a need for that person to understand
their own culture
and
right.
how the world sees them.
That's right. I think that's very true. I think that's really what gets missed important. A lot. I think it gets missed a lot.
And if you've not failed to do that, then you're failing in your relationship.
That's right.
Period.
Yeah.
If you expect that relationship to last the test of time, it won't.
Yeah.
Because what happens far too many times is that a white person will involve themselves with a black person. See that person just as a person.
That's right, yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
It's a beginning, it's a start. It's good.
We need more, though. We need more.
Feeling that that's the beginning and end of it.
That's right.
And it's not.
No, that's right.
Because again, as I'm repeating myself, that black person will have a certain way of experiencing the
in the
world.
world.
His
That's
perception is going to be different to
different.
yours. And you need to have an understanding of how he sees the world, how the world
But
impacts him or her,
yeah,
you see? And in doing so, when you do that, you embed
it's
yourself
yourself
more
deeper,
deeply
deeper.
in that person.
Yeah, and I think it's an
You become
enrich.
that relationship becomes far more enriched
Yeah,
because that person will say to you, "Oh, look, this is this situation or that's that situation or this or this," and then when again, there's another thing that happens. I think far too many um, white women will get themselves involved with a black man, have a child
yeah,
for that man.
but mess right.
Now, again, sometimes that hair can be very, very
Oh,
is it
difficult to manage.
curly?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay, all
like
right, okay, all right,
black.
okay, okay.
Sometimes it can be um, very smooth and very, whatever. But anyway, that hair will need some treatment. That skin will
We
need
need some
treatment.
truth. That's right.
And far too many times, a lot of white women ignore it, not interested, do not want to give testimony to it because I don't know why. They're just not interested in the needs of that
That
child
child
for skin care and hair care.
and
They're not because they
yeah,
don't know how to deal with it. They still don't want to
to
go and learn.
learn. No, you're right. And actually, sometimes
They're just digging their heels in and don't want to do. And I
listen.
don't know why that exists. And also, and those women will then try to argue a point. Well, I don't know how to do it, and it's I need. They just completely skirt over it.
Andrew, listen, you can have a situation where you have help aside, waiting to help to assist you to provide, someone
And they
is
still won't.
and they still won't be like, no,
I don't know why that denial exists. I've got no idea.
seriously, it's mad,
But
isn't it?
also, again, I think it's partly to do with their denial to
Understand
understand
that
you
yes, that's right. That's right. That's right.
and maybe an unconscious bias
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Maybe something else is going on. I'm sure there'll be lots of people who are going to be in on this, which is great because it opens up the debate, and I think we need to talk about it more
Yeah,
about
definitely.
what's going on, why people will do that. But it is in a big issue, although it's changing because I do see some kids who their hair is
Yeah.
amazing, their skincare is great. The person
Oh,
has taken the
definitely.
steps to learn
Learn. Oh,
and
definitely.
understand.
Yep.
And to those people, I
Put
applaud
with
you.
them, yes,
It's
without a doubt.
really good and keep that going and whatever. And I think if you want the best from your relationship, is to take it that step further because you have to. You have to take that step further
Further.
in order to see the true person, see the whole person. Otherwise, you're only seeing a
Version
version of that individual,
yeah.
a version of man. And that's why maybe the relationships don't last
Last.
or the guy moves on
Go
to
on to
another
nothing.
girl
Yeah.
or moves away because you need to take it that step further and you didn't.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't see that
Yeah.
person.
And something else, Andrew, actually, that I was thinking about, actually, and I think is really poignant, is that, when you look at black men, they're not the poster boys for wisdom, knowledge, vehicles of authority. You look at
Well,
them.
yeah, I mean,
uh,
look, we talked about this beforehand, and just to get that correct to you guys, you know, the imagery that exists, whether in Hollywood, media, whatever it is, a black face is not synonymous with intellect and wisdom.
That's right. It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
That's right.
that imagery
Yeah.
is never put out there, and so that's again another issue
Oh, without a doubt,
as
110.
to whether people, whether black or white,
Right. That's not. I think that goes across the board.
it goes
That's
across
across
the
the board. That's
board.
what I'm going to say. That I was going to say. I'm just going to say that it goes across the board.
Trusting advice,
Advice,
trusting
information. Yeah.
information, trusting knowledge or
That's
wisdom.
right.
It's not synonymous, so therefore there's unconscious bias there to think. I need to check what you're
He's
saying.
saying that's right.
Let's check that what you're saying is correct. Whether because it's not seen with wisdom or
That's right. Yeah.
competence.
Yeah.
And that is born about again through colonialism,
Wisdom.
through racism, through this, through that, and it lives out. And that is really hard to break. Really hard to break. And that adds another level of challenge to
To
relationships.
relationships, that's
And
right.
it doesn't matter. It's not about oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's white and black. No, that's just being a black man
that's right. That's right.
and being with a black woman.
Woman, that's right.
Yeah, that's and there's a specific thing with that, you see, and there's a reason why that is the case. But anyway, we're not going to get into that, but that is something that is poignant and does lend itself to why relationships, I think, for black men can be challenging. Can be challenging. I mean, it's challenging for everybody. Don't get me wrong, but also not leaving aside cultural differences, right? Cultural differences. That is a real big one. We want to touch upon that. There are situations where people, or cultural differences would have been things of the past
Yeah.
as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But again, those were addressed differently. Because, for example, you were mentioning about a Jewish woman and an
Yeah,
Italian man,
man. Yes. Yeah.
one of Judaic
Yeah.
religion,
Yeah. One
or one
Catholic.
of Catholic.
Yeah.
And what was going to happen there?
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, they've been dating for a little while, and they come to a decision that okay, they're not ready to have children right now, but they wanted to have a discussion about children
Yeah.
and what that then entailed. And the agreement initially was that they were going to go 50-50 in terms of the cultural upbringing, so there wouldn't be one dominant over the other, they would kind of celebrate them as they could do. And then recent events that happened in Israel, I'm going to the
It's
Jewish
a bad
woman.
taste.
Yeah, yes, and the
Yeah.
woman was like, no, I kind of want our children to go to Jewish school. And the guy was like, well, that's not gonna work.
Because how about
What about he's my Italian, my Catholic, yeah.
yeah.
So therefore, we can't actually then.
See, the reality is this, in my humble opinion, that 50-50 thing doesn't work. It can't work.
Yeah.
It can't work. What needs to be, you see, this is the issue. This wasn't an issue back then as such.
Okay.
When a woman married
into
man, she married
into
his
family, tradition. That's
when
you said that.
His ways,
into
his
said
tradition.
That, yeah.
And what she'll do is weave in her traditions, her culture into that family household.
That's interesting.
You see? So on face value, let's say one was tradition A and tradition B.
Yeah.
She'd become from tradition A. She would adopt tradition B, but she'd weave in some of the tradition A's ways and mores into tradition B.
Which kind of makes sense, yeah.
That's what happened.
Okay.
So, but this idea of complete 50-50, it can't work. It is a problem immediately. It can't work. You've got to get into it one way or another.
Okay.
And you could argue, oh, that's a patriarch, whatever it is. Well, whatever it is, either one has to give up to the other.
Yeah, it's
and we in one way or another. That's just the way it is. It can't move on any other way other than that, really. Unless two people, and that's just religion.
Yeah.
Culture is not. I think you can get past
the culture. Yeah.
Religion's a whole different ballgame.
More kind of more substantial, aren't they?
How defined they are in practices.
Okay.
With religion, but culture, I think, is a bit more flexibility. Because two cultures can mix together, bringing in different ways, learning more, sharing, and being more enriched as individuals as a result of that.
Okay.
But then, there are issues again.
Yeah, no.
There are issues again. You see. But yeah, this is a real interesting thing, and we're running.
Are we running out of time?
There's a
couple of things I want to share. Actually, there was one thing that I thought was quite interesting, actually, so there was a man that was a father figure in my life as such, and he was a black man, Caribbean, and he shared a few things with me in terms of his experience. So he was separated. So he was married and he was separated, and he said he had a white English woman that was pursuing him at the time, and it was interesting actually. So, and he said that he decided to go with this white woman because of the fact that he said that she cooked, she cleaned, and she had a good household. So that was his kind of model of what he accepted for himself. And then I remember years later, popping into his house, and I looked around the house, and I was like looking around, I'm thinking to myself, this house doesn't really reflect him. I'm seeing
And
one or two pictures
because of pictures,
of,
yeah,
of, of him, but I'm seeing like
all
multiple
her
pictures of
pictures
her pictures, multiple, kind of things that relate to her. And I'm
and her
like,
family,
yeah, and her
just her
family.
family.
And
So
I'm
there's no pictures of his
nothing,
black family,
nothing at
just
all.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on here? And I thought, hold on a second. And you understand that, in a household, it should reflect the fusion of what you see in
yeah.
a relationship. And then I thought to myself, well, but then you've got women that are the nesters, so they will provide the kind of, the kind of decor and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, but there's nothing of him. So what does that say about
Well, this is what we're saying. This is reflective again of what we're saying about immersing yourself
of
or seeing the other side of that person, individual, because that happens to a lot of people. A lot of people. You can go into where there's a black man and black woman, where there's a black man and a white woman living together.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
in the house.
house?
Oftentimes, not all,
Yeah, okay, okay,
not
yeah. No, no,
all.
not all this, yeah. Yeah.
Oftentimes, we'll see if there's pictures, photographs.
Gloves.
I can guarantee you
Yeah,
it's all her
agree.
family. There's very few
True.
pictures of them
Together,
together.
that's right, that's very
If
true.
they have children, them together as family with lots of family
Yeah, yeah,
mixtures.
yeah,
Very few,
yeah.
very few. And another thing is this, right? You will see that and you'll go to a guy's house, wherever, and you see a picture of her mum and dad, a picture of her brothers
The
and
sister,
sisters, a
that's
picture of
right,
her
that's
aunts and
right,
uncles,
yeah.
picture of this, and you might see another picture of him on his own with the children.
That's
You don't see her, and maybe one picture with her and him,
yes, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that's it.
That's right,
It's
that's
not the
right.
dominant feature in the
The home,
home.
that's right, it's not at
And
all.
that is telling you
I think
something
unconscious,
unconsciously
that's right,
already.
all day
What
long.
you're looking at
That's right,
in her mind.
that's right. How she sees the landscape.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
yeah,
You see?
definitely.
And oftentimes, again, if you go to that person's mother's house, so the grandparents'
That's
house,
right, that's right, yeah.
now oftentimes you'll see grandparents will put pictures up of their daughter
That's,
and their daughter's family,
that's,
the kids and this, that, this.
that's
Sometimes you can go to that family and you won't see
seen
any
pictures.
pictures.
That's right, yeah.
You may see the child,
That's right, yeah.
but you won't see the husband.
It's not even there
He's not even
in
there.
the fact
You won't put
yeah.
a picture from the black male there.
That's right,
And
yeah.
that, again,
That's right.
reinforces
It's-
something. Yeah. An understanding
Yeah.
that how that guy is out.
That's right. It's not in the picture. It's
Not
not
in
in
the
the picture.
picture at
Not in the
all.
frame at all.
And then you make yourself ask the question, well, I wonder how tight their relationship
Relationship
is.
is. Well, let me tell you something now, just to back that up.
Yeah.
So, in this particular situation, he took ill, and I thought at this
was
time,
ill. He was ill.
he was ill. He was ill, yeah. And I thought at this time, I thought she'll step up and she'll play a role in terms of helping him and assisting him in his ill health. No, she took a step back, and actually, if I'm honest with you, I think it led to his decline in his terms of his health. He's not here today, but and I was like, wow, and that was an eye opener for me. An eye opener for me to think, wow, you've
Yeah,
got to.
I mean, it's I think for some people in these relationships, I think it's the woman can be in a relationship with a shadow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
a shadow of the person.
person.
So when the person's declined, that it's like as though he's gone. What I was in a relationship with has gone anyway.
That's right, yeah.
So therefore, you're just somebody that's hanging around. You see, and oftentimes I think that it's something. People might think, "Oh, I'm probably bashing white women."
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not.
not the case. That's not the case.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that there's something missing that some women are not aware
Very well,
of.
that's right, yeah. And I
And
agree
that
with
they
that.
need to see that whole person
Yeah.
by getting into their culture, understanding who they are and how that person perceives the world. Doing so, you're going to see the whole person.
Yeah. And I think that you get a deeper connection.
You get a deeper connection
without a
if
doubt.
that's what you want.
Well, that's
If
that's
you
right.
don't want
That's right. That's right.
then obviously
That's
keep
right.
doing what you're doing.
That's right. That's
But
right.
if you
that's
want
right.
a deeper connection, you want to see
Yeah.
who he is, you want to understand who he is, you'll get a better version of him.
That's right.
A better experience of him.
And actually, that's
if you embody yourself in that individual.
And actually, the other thing about that, the other side of that also is that
it's making an effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it's of course about making an effort. But I think the other thing is that that you will say, for example, you're dating somebody and someone has perhaps ill intentions or intentions that they don't want you to see.
Mm,
It's important, as you mentioned earlier on, I think about asking the questions, asking the right questions, so you can
mm,
discern in
mm.
terms of whether they are,
That's part of the advice. That's part of the advice.
without a doubt,
I think
110.
if you are a guy and you're going to date outside your race, you need to be seeing, getting a sense of how they feel
Feel
about some of the political issues, and not be frightened to talk about it, and see if they're frightened to talk about it. If they've got no opinion on it,
that's right, yeah,
don't worry about it.
yeah.
Don't get
They're
involved,
involved in
because
that.
that person's going to be of
Well,
no real benefit
well,
to
not
you
substance.
if you want to take that. If you want to date a person seriously, you're looking for someone to settle
Yeah,
with wife material or
that's right. Yeah,
long-term
yeah.
partnership material. And if they're frightened or can't talk about these things with you, they're not for you.
That's right. Yeah, move it on.
If
Move
they
on.
don't take an interest in how the world perceives you and who you are, who you really
Yeah,
are,
that's right.
that's not one for you. And I think, as you know, for white women involved, if you are looking for someone to settle with and you want that marriage material, you want that guy to settle with you or take you seriously,
Seriously,
then you need to step up to the plate, not just do the things you
what
ordinarily
they've
would
always
do in a
wanted to do.
relationship,
That's right. Yeah.
because that's really good, but you're taking on more.
Well, that's right. Yeah, a lot more. A lot
So
more.
therefore, you need to do a bit
Well,
more
that's right.
to get more from
From
that
the
person, to
person.
understand who
Yeah.
he is, to understand what he's about and how the world perceives him, and how he interacts with the world, how the world interacts with him.
Him.
And because if you do that, when you if you decide to have children with that individual, you are going to be in a far better place to
Place.
be able to protect, help your child
To,
to
to
thrive,
thrive and develop. Yeah.
and to be more balanced.
110. Yeah.
Yeah? Because in my humble opinion, people can shoot me down if you disagree with it, that being the term black is political,
Yeah.
and therefore your children are going to be perceived as black.
Look. Yes. Right.
So black of dual heritage.
That's right. Yeah.
That's it. If that child does not see themselves in that way,
Way.
then there's going to be problems when they encounter deep, hardcore racism. They're not going to know exactly how to deal
Deal
with
with
it.
it. Actually, it's funny you say that. Actually, I think that's
Because
concerning.
when people say, this is the problem, people
Yeah.
say, oh, I'm half black and
But
half white.
right.
You ain't half of
I
anything.
think that's right.
Because black is a political statement. It's not like a gene
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
this or that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a political statement in that sense, from my perspective.
Yeah.
So you have to embrace it.
That's
'Cause that's
right.
how the world is going to perceive you. You know, you might say, well, okay, I'm in the UK, and we don't say that. We say, all right, fine. Say what you like in the UK. Go to America. Go to another
See,
country.
and what experience you get? Yeah.
You're black.
That's right.
You,
Yeah.
they won't get it.
That's right. Yeah.
What you're trying to prevent, they
Yeah.
won't get it.
And,
So,
I think there's a worrying thing there, Andrew, with that, because I think if we look at the households, and I think there's a majority. I mean, I was looking at the numbers here actually, and I was saying about in 2001 there were 237 and 420,000 white, black, Caribbean mixed population. That's risen to 513,042 in 2021. But my point is this, is that there's greater numbers that we could see. And we're talking about households that don't reflect that, the black man, say, for example, or the black woman, they're in silence. They're not speaking about what's going on. So how does that filter down in the household? Race is not mentioned. So as a result of the children, they don't understand it in the way that they're, the black parent or understands it, and as a result of that, their lens is kind of different. And I think the concern is that what we're going to find is that children, interracial children, down the road will feel isolated because they're going to be experiencing this overt racism, which I think is just around the corner. It's not here already.
yeah. And what know exactly
And
how
when I
to
have to deal with it.
and their parents won't know how to,
The,
because
the,
they never actually took the time to.
that's right.
Exactly. That's the problem, because guys, just summarizing really, really very quickly, so I have to go, is the fact that if you don't take the steps to, I think even for young people, adults, whatever it is, however you see yourself, black is a political thing, and you have to embrace it whether you like it or not. No one, no, as I say, in a roundabout way, someone said no one wants to be on the side of no on your losing side.
Yeah.
But you got to embrace how the world is going to perceive you. But know that you are from dual heritage and
That's
be
right.
proud of that
That's
dual
right,
heritage.
without a doubt.
That's what you need to be proud of that dual heritage, but you are a black individual,
Individual.
black person. So that you don't have when that racism hits, you're not confused.
That's right, yeah.
You know why. And as a parent, a white parent, understanding that. So when your child experiences racism, you can support them better. And if you learn from your partner,
Yeah.
understanding his experience,
Experiences, yeah.
you're better able to understand
Understand
the
that
experience of
better.
your child
That's
and
right.
be support them. Because oftentimes they can't support them.
That's right, yeah.
Something happens. I'll ignore them.
The-
It doesn't
and-
matter. They're stupid.
they'll
You're
quit.
special.
I know.
How's that going to help
I know,
anything?
seriously, yep.
And they may want to help, but they don't. They're out their depth.
No, yeah. But the thing is, this is the thing. Funny you say that, but I'm thinking to myself, and I did a situation the other day, but I'm thinking to myself, well, then you assign it to somebody that perhaps may know that information or may help your son or daughter. You know what I'm trying to say? Someone that black that has that experience and can say, you know what?
But it's not even just that. It's not about signing. It's about putting yourself as your child.
Okay, to
It's
learn.
about putting yourself
you
in a
understand
position
it.
to understand.
No, yeah, very
And
true.
a lot of people in mixed races do not put themselves out to understand.
It's not on their radar.
They don't go to learn, look, read, talk about it with their partner. They don't invest.
Yes, no,
There's
very
zero
Very
investment.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why the relationship doesn't work.
Yeah, very true.
They wonder why it's not working. They wonder why they're not getting the best out of it. They wonder why the person may be distant from them.
Yeah.
They can't understand. It just doesn't compute. That they need to make that investment themselves because of the political climate that we live in and have lived in for the last 200-300 years. See? So that's the key element.
Yeah.
Make that effort.
Yeah.
And maybe guys need to be demanding that effort now, saying you need to put that effort in.
Without
maybe
a doubt.
that's what it is as well.
And take some accountability, I think, in that.
Yeah,
I think I
think
agree
so.
with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
So hopefully, guys, that will help you understand. We want to put so much more in there, but run out of time. But yeah, that's essentially it. That's where we're at. Maybe we might do a part 2 of it, who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you got something from it. And please like, share, and subscribe. And comment.
Comment.
Well,
without a doubt.
Get this on the discussion, whether you're pro or anti, doesn't matter. It's your point of view, and your point of view counts. Okay, take care. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
3, 2,